Hi, I'm Chris Wilkinson. I'm the relighter for the tour and Deputy Head of Lighting for the Royal Opera House. So my job at the Royal Opera House is to manage the lighting department with the Head of Lighting. We look after all of the revivals, all of the new performances for the ballet and the opera. Another part of my job is to do artistic works when required and light specific things like shows, performances, and perform the lighting on the tours. So on tour, my job is to manage the lighting team, including all the pre-work logistics and things like that, and then I'm the one that is lighting the shows to make them look as good as they did in the Royal Opera House. My daily schedule here will involve a lot of work at the front end. We'll be getting the show into the venue, performing all the lighting focusing, and then I will begin the work of relighting the show. So working through each act, each cue, and creating exactly what the show should look like for the audience. We tend to work quite long hours, sort of 9 o'clock in the morning till about 10 o'clock in the evening, sometimes later, sometimes earlier. Because on tour time is always very, very limited, so we have to pack a lot into our day. On a typical day, we'll begin to get in early in the morning and we go from nothing to having a full stage setup. I'll begin focusing sometime in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, making sure all the lights are in the right place. And then from sometime in the evening, about 7 o'clock, for example, I would start actually making the cues and creating the images and the looks that we need for the performance. So at the Royal Opera House, I tend to come into work about 9 o'clock in the morning and I'll do some paperwork in the office while my team set up the stage for me, and then about 11 o'clock, 10:30, I'll go down to the stage and start working on the lighting, and then I'll work on the lighting throughout the rehearsal period and work on all the cues and the looks, and then post-rehearsal I will go back to my office and I tend to work on some other performances that are coming up in the schedule soon, or other things further in the future, like new shows, have meetings with designers, have model room meetings. And that's a kind of typical day until about 6 p.m. Obviously on certain days I stay a lot later. If there's a show in the evening or rehearsal in the evening, then I'll work until 11 p.m. at night. I do both ballet and opera. It just depends on the schedule and what needs me to work on. And I have a team of people, so I don't have to do every single production, but I tend to do some of the bigger ones, and I tend to do things like the touring and the galas and things like that as well. I also work in the Limbury as well, so we have another theatre, a smaller theatre within the venue, which I also design for as well. I've been working for the Royal Opera House for 15 years. I started as a freelance technician, just covering shifts when there's required, and then over the years worked on various teams within lighting until I became the Deputy Head of Lighting. From education, I did a degree in theatre studies, so I actually learnt about the theory of theatre quite a lot, and also at the same time worked as a lighting technician in other venues, and then found my way to the Royal Opera House, where I kind of found my home. I found a place that I was very happy, and the work here is very interesting because it's repertory, it's always changing, so no day is the same, which is always lovely. And then just worked slowly through the shows, and once you begin to build a rep knowledge and you begin to understand the art of lighting, I mean, you're always working with world-class lighting designers, so you pick up a lot from them, and then slowly work my way up, getting more experience, getting more control over shows, getting more artistic control, until I was given the chance to start actually designing for real for the company. Pretty much a backstage incident every day of some variety, and that's the joy of live performance. But I don't think anything compares to the experience of standing behind the curtains for the curtain calls and the roar of the audience applauding and the excitement of that moment. That's a feeling I'll always remember, I think. Yeah, they're very different productions. They're almost different ends of our repertoire. Fee is very bright, very jolly. We need lots of light on stage and lots of colour that works with the mood of the piece. So lots of romance and brightness, sort of bright happiness. And then Giselle, we need to work on, with the same equipment, we need to make it feel a lot darker, a lot more atmospheric. We have to build, you're almost working with an absence of light. You need to light the performers, but you don't want to light the scenery as much. And it just has to build that mood to help with the emotions of the piece. I've always had an amazing time in Japan. It's definitely one of my favourite places to tour. The public treats us so well, and it's just such a different culture to the UK that it's just so exciting to visit every time.